Hey. No one's here. I didn't know.
Would the keeper of the flame please bring forward the Christ candle? Oh, yes. You can take this with you. Namaste.
Good morning, beloved of God. Right where you are at this very moment, the light of Spirit shines through you. Infinitely loved by God, you are the light of the world. I'm Sandy, and I welcome you to Unity Spiritual Center of Waco this morning. And if we could take a look at our phones to make sure they're cut down, that'd be great. And please stand as you are able and join in our congregational singing.
Oh. Oh, hey, that's not quite right, is it? Sorry, I had to invent the beginnings of some of these pieces. And I practiced. All right, here we go.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, peace gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Let us now say together our statement of truth, which is on the screen. There is only one presence and one power in the universe
And in my life, God the good, omnipotent. We are a beacon of love and light for those who need this spiritual home right now.
And let us say together our vision, mission, and our core value for today. Our vision:
To awaken an awareness of spirit in our lives through modern application of ancient wisdom.
our mission:
Raise consciousness, transform lives, heal the planet, one person at a time, beginning with me.
and our core value for today is stewardship.
We commit to the practice of giving and receiving, to living prosperity principles, and to being good stewards of the abundance God gives our families, our church, and our world.
Our daily word for today, Sunday, February 5, 2023, healing. Unity co-founder Myrtle Fillmore's healing journey began when she changed her mind. Inspired by the words of a healing practitioner, she took this affirmation to heart: I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. After 2 years of persistent health-affirming meditation, prayer, and practice, Myrtle was healed. Her faith made her well. Myrtle Fillmore lived joyously and vigorously for many years. I take inspiration from this story. I, too, am a living expression of God. I feel my body's quickening response as I claim my inheritance of divine life, vibrantly active in every cell of my body. Good nutrition, exercise, and rest support my healing practice. My faith is making me well. And from Mark 5, verse 34, he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." And our affirmation today, I'll say, and then we will say together, my faith is making me well.
My faith is making me well.
Thank you, Sandy. On. Hello? There I am. All right, this is the time in our service when we come together and have an opportunity to greet one another, to say hi, shake hands, give a hug. I'm a hugger. And we really want to welcome the people that are joining us online. And even though you can't be with us, know that you are with us in our hearts, and we appreciate you. So let's do that now. To the center, everybody.
Oh, that's right.
Hello, John.
God bless you.
To the I don't have her number. I have it at home. I was going to call her and see if she wanted to take her to see Alice. I know you do. Okay. All right. We're going to okay. I'm going to put it in my phone. Okay. Yeah. Everybody is outside. He's out there.
It's one we haven't done in a long time, but I know it's an old favorite. So now this one is very low for some people. So if you need to take it up the octave, it's not going to bother me. Okay.
I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. And it returns to me. And it returns to me.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Don, and it's a pleasure to welcome each of you to Unity Spiritual Center of Waco this morning. Together we affirm and celebrate our unity, our oneness with each other, our oneness with all that is, and our oneness in God. Your presence is essential. For each of us is a unique aspect of the energy that is unity. And we come together right here, right now, knowing that no one is here by accident or coincidence. And we know that unity is a New Thought denomination, yet New Thought is nothing new to the world. It is in reality a synthesis of the greatest concepts of the minds and spirits of humankind across the ages. The laws of Moses, the love of Christ, the ethics of Buddha, the morals of Confucius, the 5 pillars of Islam, and a deep realization of the Hindus, all find an exalted place in the philosophy that is unity. In unity, we believe that all people are created with sacred worth, regardless of culture, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or creed, and we know that neither unity nor God leaves anyone out. So as we open our service today, let's do so in prayer. So let's just close our eyes for the presence that is God. Open our hearts to allow that presence, that energy, that love and light to flow into us, filling us with that love, filling us with the power that just makes us radiate the love within us out to share it with each other, to share it with our world. Each of us has something to give, and that's what makes us special. Each of us are a unique aspect of the energy of the love that is God. And we allow this to flow into us and out. For it's sharing love that makes this world better. We say thank you, God, for this opportunity for us to express ourselves, our own unique part of God, to make this a better world. So as we do this, we can look out into the world and see the beauty that's there, that's all around us, and say, thank you, Spirit, knowing that all comes from God. We especially hold those in our minds, in our hearts, that have asked for prayer, that need something special at this time. We see the leaders of not only this country, but all countries, surrounded in the light and the love of God, coming together to work towards peace, harmony, joy. And we know when the disciples asked Jesus, how should we pray? He gave them the Lord's Prayer, which we say together now is translated from the Aramaic, the language that Jesus spoke. Together. Infinite presence, which is everywhere. Your name is sacred. Your kingdom is come. Your will is throughout the earth, even as it is throughout the universe. You give us our needful bread from day to day, and you forgive our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And you lead us not into temptation, but you separate us from error. Because yours are the kingdom, the power, and the song, and the praise, from all ages, throughout all ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth. Amen. Amen. Each of us are the light and love of God, spiritual beings having a human experience. You are God's beloved, and we embrace you today. This is a time in our service when normally we would greet the children. Bless them, I should say. But I'm the only one here. So we'll bless all the children of the world today. So together, as we have up here, we rub our hands together, get some nice warm energy going. We hold them up and we say, children of the world, we love you, we bless you, and we know the Christ in you. Thank you.
And hi, you guys. Hello. So, I've started to do this thing where I introduce my song now, and I kind of like it. Everybody okay with that? I really had put some thought into this one because, when you think of the word miracle, you think, oh, the baby Jesus and the Virgin Mary and the, I don't know, things that are supernatural. But the fact of the matter is that we are literally surrounded by them all the time. You think about it. From the teeniest, tiniest little flower that grows on a sprig of heather and blooms into just this riotous burst of color and beauty, to the hugest sequoia up there that I didn't even know that existed because it's so huge. You don't even think it should. The fact that we are here is a gigantic miracle. We're on this rock that is set in the precise location from this giant ball of gas burning billions of miles away, just happens to support life. I don't think that's a coincidence. That is what I would call a miracle. And the elements that make up that sun have been forged in the furnace of it. They fall apart and they come together, fall apart, come together, travel, billions of light years. Beers? Anybody? Billions of light years to come together again to make you. Now, how is that not a huge miracle? And I think what it is that we have become so used to these things that we just don't consider them as miracles. But the fact is they are. There's just no getting around it. And so instead of singing a song that's, about miracles, and the only ones I could look up were like, There Can Be Miracles from Prince of Egypt, or like the new Encanto movie, and I was just like, I don't think that really is going to work for us. I found a song by Denise Rosier, and it's a really great song. It's just called Everything is Sacred, because we are sacred. And so, yeah, Margot, whenever you're ready, hit me. Everything is sacred. Everything is filled with the divine. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everything is a wonder, unfolding right before our eyes. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everything is a blessing, bursting from the earth and sky. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everyone is sacred. Everyone is filled with the divine. Everyone is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everything is sacred. Everything is filled with the divine. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everything is a wonder, unfolding right before our eyes. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everything is a blessing, bursting from the earth and sky. Everything is alive with spirit, with spirit. Everyone is sacred. Everyone is filled with the divine. Everyone is alive. We are alive. We are alive. Everything is
Thank you, Cinda. Everything is sacred. There used to be a program on TV. It was called Amazing Stories many years ago. I think it was with the Twilight Zone. There was very few of the stories that I remember, but one I did. It was about flying. Imagine that. And it was about a B-17 crew that was flying a bomber in World War II. And they'd made it up to their last mission. 24th mission, if they made it through this one, they were home free, got to go home. The war was over for them. So they were all arriving that morning, getting ready for this mission. They got to the plane, the crew It's about 10 people. All of them were there except for one, the belly gunner, Johnny, their good luck piece. And they were getting ready to load, and one of the members goes up to the captain and says, well, let's get aboard. And, well, Johnny's not here yet. And he says, well, I've decided not to take him on this mission. This is the last mission. We know the last one is always a bad one. He's just gotten married, found out his wife's pregnant, and I've decided to leave him behind. Well, we need him. He's our good luck piece. He said, no, I'm not going to do it. But Johnny shows up about then, and he's telling him that he's not going to take him, going to leave him behind. And the crew members are a little upset. About this time, a truck pulls up with a replacement in the back of it. Truck stops, and it was right under one of the engines. So the new gunner stands up, whacks his head on the engine, falls out of the truck, and he's kind of a klutz wandering around. And they're looking at the captain like, really? All right, Johnny can go. I mean, so they all go crawling up into this plane. To get into a B-17, it had a hole in the bottom of it, and you had to swing up in to get in the plane. They all get on. And before they did that, actually, Johnny got there. They whipped his hat off, and everybody's rubbing his head for good luck. He was their good luck piece. So they get in the plane, they take off. They're headed for Germany to make this bombing run. And they're all kind of in a good mood today because they know it's their last mission. They just got to survive this one. So as they're there joking and stuff, Johnny, what he contributed most to the crew was he was always drawing, making pictures. Whether it was the crew members and something about their life, or whether it was the plane, but he always drew a picture of the plane going on this mission, showing a successful mission. So he's sitting over there and he's drawing away and making this plane, gets it all done and writes below it, Lucky 24, their last mission. One of the crew members sees it and he takes it, shows somebody else, and he takes it to the cabin or the captain. And he says, here's what Johnny drew. So he takes his gum out, sticks on the back, and sticks it up there on the instrument panel. They got their good luck piece now. So they're flying the mission. It gets time they're getting to Germany. Captain says everybody needs to take their stations. So they all go back. Johnny's the belly gunner. So they had an opening in kind of this ball, and he has to drop down through it, and then two crew members put the latch on and latch it shut. And he's kind of in a ball, and it'll rotate back and forth, up and down, whatever he's got to do with these guns. But they all get in their positions. They're getting where they're going to make their bombing run. And the captain says, it looks like here they come. We got them coming in at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So they're on the run. The dive fighters are coming in, firing on the plane, trying to shoot them down. They're shooting back. This big battle's going on. Johnny's down there in the bottom in his turret. Somebody yells, we got one 3 o'clock low. And Johnny swings around. He's shooting at this plane coming at him. The plane's shooting at him. They got this deal going on, both of them shooting. Just before it gets to the plane, he got it. It blew up. And the engine and propeller are coming right at him. He kind of looks at it, and it hit the side of the plane right above him. Big kind of an explosion. You got electrical, everything going off back there. Crew members running back trying to take care of it. And Johnny's in his turret, and he's it's stuck, it won't move. So they get things under control, and they go over and they're trying to get this engine and stuff that's jammed in there out of the way so they can get him out. But nothing will move. So about this time also in this fight, they lose an engine on the plane. So they only got 3 engines. They can't hold their altitude or anything, losing an engine with all the bombs. So the captain says, jettison the cargo. So boom, they dump all the bombs. So now they turn and head back to England. They also lost some fuel in this. So he figures it out and he says, yeah, we've got enough fuel to get us to the airport, but we can't do any deviation. We got to go straight. That's okay. So Johnny's in there and they got the intercom. He says, Captain, got a problem here. I can't move. It won't move. And so the crew members check. They can't get him out because they can't rotate the thing back to where they can open the latch. So he's stuck there. And they say, well, it looks like you're going to ride home in the belly in that little ball. He said, not a problem. This last mission, let's go home. About this time, they lose another engine. Now they can't hold their altitude. So they're starting a descent. Captain's figuring it out, and he says, we've got just enough altitude, just enough fuel that we can make the airport, but we can't deviate. We're going straight in. That's okay. Then one of the crew members looks out, and he sees that one of the engine, the one they lost, and the whole bottom of the nacelle, the bottom of the engine cover is all tore up. And he checks the other one. Well, it's tore up too. That's where the landing gear is. So he tells the captain, he says, Captain, we got a problem here. The captain says, well, what? And he says, it looks like the landing gear out there might be tore up. You might cycle it and see if it's working or not. So he reaches up and he works the switch. Nothing. No landing gear. And they're saying, well, now we got a major problem. Johnny's stuck in that ball on the belly of the plane. We got no landing gear. If we land, we're landing on Johnny. What are we going to do? Well, Johnny's back there and said, Captain, you need to get me out of this thing. We're working on it, Johnny. We're trying. So the captain goes back and he says, let's get this debris out of the way. And he said, we've already tried that. And he says, well, we're going to try it again. And so they're working, trying to get this thing loose and can't budge it. Nothing's working. What are we going to do? And Johnny's back there. He says, you need to get me out of here. He says, this is not my time. I'm not going to die. I know this is not my time. So they're trying to figure out what they're going to do because they got a little bit of hole in the top of this thing where they can talk to him and see him and whatnot, but it's not big enough to get him out of. So they're headed back. He's a little freaky. I don't blame him. I would be too. So they figured, well, the only thing we can do is we'll give him a parachute. He can knock out the window and he can dive out the bottom of the plane. So they start doing this. They said, we can't get the parachute through that hole, but we can take it apart and feed it through. He can put on the harness, break the window, dive out, we'll be good to go. So they're feeding it in. And he's saying, we need to get this done. We're almost to the airport. And he's pulling and pulling. Well, there's a jagged piece of metal and it tears open the parachute. And they're like, oh, God, this ain't going to work. Well, get another one. We ain't got time. What are we going to do? And Johnny's like, oh, God, I ain't going to die. So the only thing he does, he grabs his pad and he starts drawing the plane. He's making the plane, getting it all drawn, working on it. Gets down to the last and he starts drawing in the landing gear. Kind of a funky looking little landing gear. The landing legs look like barber poles with the red stripes spinning around them. And he builds these big yellow balloon looking tires. He's coloring them in. He's getting it all done. They're only a mile from the runway. And he says, it's this. And he's, looking at this. And he says, Captain, just for me, he says, try that landing gear one more time. I'll do anything for you, Johnny. So he, landing gear is coming down. One of the crew members says, Captain, we got a landing gear, but you don't want to know. Plane comes in, they get it landed, taxi it off the runway, shut it down. They all come boiling out of the bottom of this plane, running back there, and the captain's screaming to bring a torch, get him cut out of that ball. Let's get him out. They look in there, and you see Johnny. He's just there. He's froze, staring in like he's in a trance. So they cut out the back of this ball. They drag him out, get him over to the side of the plane. He's sitting there, and he's still not moving. Captain shakes him. Still there. He slaps him. He kind of comes out of it, and when he does, you see the plane and the landing gear just kind of disappears. It drops on that ball, crushes it, and they're all looking at each other. Kind of a hokey story, yeah. We're talking about miracles today, and you're saying, yeah, really? Well, I also have another one for you. I can heal people their sickness, you're saying. Okay. But let's look at that difference. Jesus said he could heal the sick, the afflicted, cured the lepers, turned water into wine, raised the dead. That one's a little much, I think. But he had the power to bring about change. So when we look at it from that prospect, it's a little bit different. Like we had in the Daily Word this morning, Myrtle Fillmore, one of our co-founders, she had, they think, TB. And she worked to build her faith, her belief. And in 2 years, she was well. Things are possible. Faith. You take Jesus, for instance, had the faith in himself and God. There was a lady that came up behind him one day in the crowd, fought her way through and reached and touched his garment. And Jesus said, "Somebody touched me." His disciples said, "People are touching you all the time. You're always in a crowd." And he said, "No, somebody touched me." And he turned around. She was there. He said, "Your faith has cured you." Your faith, not mine, your faith. That's what we're talking about today, faith, miracles. So what is faith? In the Revealing Word by Charles Fillmore, one of our co-founders, it has the definition of faith metaphysically. The perceiving power of the mind linked to the power to shape substance. Spiritual assurance, the power to do the seemingly impossible. It is a magnetic power that draws into us our heart's desire from the invisible spiritual substance. Faith is a deep inner knowing that that which is sought is already ours for the taking. From Hebrews 11:1, now faith is assurance of things hoped for. And Matthew 9:29 says, according to your faith be it done unto you. It's all about faith. I've learned that over the years to start having faith in things when you're facing a crisis, a problem. Have faith. But I don't limit it to what I think should be done. I limit it to what I want or something better. Sometimes it doesn't work out the way we want it to. But it's for the good of the situation. Sometimes we'd like to change things. But if we have faith, we know that what comes about is for our good. Faith, miracles. Maybe that story about the bomber is a little hokey, but who's to say that he, when he'd gone into that trance, was completely focused to bring about something for him? We all see things that we call miracles. Maybe it's somebody gets stuck under a car. We've all heard different stories of somebody having superhuman power, it seems like, when they were raising up a car where they could drag somebody out. Something we said, that can't be done. We've all seen stuff. We face situations in our life and we say, I can't do that. I know I can't do that. Or that can't happen. But is that true? Maybe we should change what we're saying so that it can happen. I learned many years ago something I forget most of the time, but occasionally I'm learning to use it more and more. When I face a situation like that, I can't do that. To turn it around, say, cancel, cancel, cancel. And then use your affirmations, your denials. Cancel out that negative thought, that negative feeling, and replace it with, I can do that. I may not know how it's going to come about right now, but I can do that. It can happen. We start changing what we're feeling in here. We're bringing about our faith. We're making things change. That's what we need to face every day in our life. I can make a difference. Whether it's in my life, whether it's in the life of my loved ones, or whether it's this world. We each have more power than we can imagine. We just need to open our hearts. Get rid of what's holding us back, because the only thing holding you back is what's in you, your beliefs. Many of them from the time you were born. But we can start changing our program. We might not change it like Jesus overnight or seemingly in the early part of his life. But if we take a step every day to change some small little part of our lives, it all adds up. And we can make a difference. We have so many examples of that. We've seen people. We know of people in the world that make a difference. They're no different than you or me. They just focused their attention, took the next step, and believed in themselves. That's what miracles are. Believing in ourselves, and we can make a difference. We can make a change. Every one of us. Just make up your mind. And you're going to have setbacks. That's part of growing. You're going to have challenges. But how you face that challenge determines the outcome. It may not be the outcome you're expecting. But one of the things I have learned is I hope for this or something better. Allow God present in everything to bring about what's best for you or the situation. And trust. And that's what I want to leave with you today, is just learn to trust yourself and the power you have. You are a miracle. And that's the truth. Well, most of you. Anyway, let's take that now into a time of meditation. So right where you are, just sit back. Allow the chair to support you. Take a deep breath. Breathing in that love, that light, that miracle of life. Because life is a miracle. So as we breathe that in, just allow it to flow to every cell of your body. Feel that love, that energy. And then allow it to flow out. For us to realize and feel the presence and love of God, we need to share it. It's what we put out that comes back. So allow that love, that light to flow in. Put a smile on your face. And then give it away. Express your love. And realize what a miracle that is. You are a miracle. So let's just take a few moments now to feel that, to be that. Now as we prepare to come back to this place, to this time, just hold on to that knowledge, that thought. You are a miracle. And so it is. Amen.
This is the time in our service when we have an opportunity to give back to the work of Spirit through our offerings and tithes. We give in love and gratitude for our own prosperity in its many forms, which comes to us through God, our instant, constant, and abundant source. Will the ushers please come forward? I ask you to hold your offerings in your hand as we say our offertory blessing together.
Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive, and I am grateful.
Please come forward. And please join me as we bless this offering.
As
circle up. Okay, there it is, our prosperity affirmation.
We affirm the continued growth and prosperity of Unity Spiritual Center of Waco, and we are grateful.
And our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
Wherever
I am, God is, and all is well.
Let's go down and have some fun.
Oh, to you.